motherfucking dog. You just a big motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
All right, but let's go ahead. Let's talk about it actually, because this is probably I'd say probably the hottest topic in the world right now at this point, which is funny. Like even Donald J. Trump tweeted in disgust as we watch Shedeur Sanders, who Mel Kiper, ESPN draft analyst for 30 plus years, been a draft analyst covering college football for 47 years, I believe he said during the draft. Mel Kiper was very, very upset. And I believe everyone at this point believes that the league essentially colluded together to not draft Shedeur Sanders in any of the top 5 rounds, or he think got drafted in the 5th round, but any of the top 4 rounds. Number one, they felt like he was arrogant. But also number two, like this whole conversation surrounding his father, Dion Sanders. And really my group chat that I have I got 3 different group chats really. I got one with Glasses Malone and Pavi where we literally just talk basketball and rap. I got another one with like my homies that I didn't know since high school or for like 15 plus years. And then I got another one with another set of homies that I've known for like 10, 15 years. But the other one is always the more intellectual conversation. So like the conversation but I'm saying this to like bring up the point because I want to know your opinion because like this is the argument that we've been having. Like I feel as though this entire thing has been an example of them buck breaking not only Shedeur but also Dion Sanders and his whole family.
Yeah,
and I don't care what anyone says. I believe that this was economic warfare.
Yeah.
Whether I believe by definition, I can probably look it up right now. I believe by the Webster's definition of economic warfare, what you witnessed with Shedeur Sanders in this NFL draft was economic warfare and buck breaking. It was telling Dion Sanders, you still a boy, and so is your boys. And we don't give a fuck how good he think he is. He only as good as we say he is. Mm-hmm. He lost over $60 million by sliding in that draft from the 1st round to the 5th round. There has been no draft in which Mel Kiper has had a top 5 projected quarterback pick. He was number 2 on his list.
Yeah.
To not get drafted in the 1st or the 2nd round.
Economic warfare refers to the use of economic measures like sanctions, tariffs, and embargoes to weaken an adversary's economy and influence its political and military power. It is a form of coercion that aims to achieve strategic goals without resorting to traditional military conflict.
Exactly. And to me, by definition, that is what that is. Because this whole entire thing is political. Like maybe not like red versus blue, but it's political in the sense of everyone knows that Dion Sanders wants to be an NFL coach. Yep. But the problem with Dion Sanders is he's Dion Sanders. He's going to come with Dion Sanders. That's the brand. That's what you get in. But as you see, everywhere he goes, he wins, right? Even Shedeur, at every single level, from Little League to JUCO to the NCAA.
Yep.
So this entire thing and gambit and all this stuff that's being run by the NFL, I believe, to me, I'm alleging that I believe it's allegedly economic warfare. And I think that's what we're seeing. And it's been sad to watch, and it's been a disgrace. And for someone as esteemed as Mel Kiper, even though people might not always like his football takes and his opinions, Mel Kiper is one of the most esteemed journalists to ever walk the face of this planet. And for him to be on national television multiple days in a row saying that he is disgusted and that this has to be something else other than for football reasons is ridiculous. I turn the mic over to you.
So I think I want to kind of give people a little context or kind of insight into the timeline about what you talked about, because I think that's important. I think that what you lifted up is something that I'm happy that we're talking about, because when you talk about different forms of warfare, a lot of people aren't aware when they're in it that they're impacted by it. You know what I mean? Now we're in a hypersensitive environment where people are learning by now because they it's affecting their livelihood what a tariff is. But tariffs have existed, you know what I mean, forever. Not forever, but you know what I'm saying, for you know what I'm saying, for decades.
I mean, well, honestly, for as long as you've had trade,
Oh,
you
right,
kind of
right,
have
yeah,
had
yeah. You know what I
tariffs.
mean?
I
Yeah,
mean,
just different, a
I
different,
mean,
yeah,
we
different.
just
We call it a thing, but
I would say colloquially for the listeners out there, it was just called bartering before.
right, right.
Like you
So
would give somebody 10 bushels of
right,
broccoli and they would give you back 10 things of corn and maybe $1. You know,
right,
that dollar is the tariff. You know what I mean? That
right,
type of
right,
thing.
right. So when you talk about that warfare, I wanted to lift that up because I think that, like, I don't want people to only focus on the personality of this problem. Because if you focus on the personality of this problem, you're going to miss out on how, because of the timeline. And I'll tell you this, like, and I think after I say this, I'm pretty sure you'll agree. I am so thankful that we saw it play out in real time. I'm so thankful that we didn't get a report of what happened from the NFL. We saw it in real time, because your argument was strengthened with every pick that was selected. Now, my issue here is simple. Does does do some players or most players have inflated sense of self? Absolutely. Right? So if you are to ask a player where they feel they should be drafted, most of the time they're going to say something that exceeds where they are projected. That's fine. The
Can I ask you a
issue,
question?
talk to me.
No, I'm just saying this for viewer and
Yeah.
listener context that don't know you. You played football in high school, right?
No, didn't play.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you
So
definitely, you got
yeah.
you look like you definitely look like a running back in high school.
So now, when we think about how polarizing Shedeur is, I won't go the Dion route yet, because I don't think we're respecting the disdain for the son alone. You know what I mean? There is a separation. I'm not saying that it's not greater for Dion, but
I'm not making that face
yeah,
because because I want to argue that. I just don't understand why.
right, right. No, no, but listen, it don't even matter. If anything, I'm just lifting it up because we have to,
Now
right?
I will say this: the internet got mad at me because I critiqued Shedeur when he went to the
Well,
NFL Combine and the way he
hold
was
on.
dressed. Go ahead.
I just want to finish this thought. We combine the disdain and we say it's for the family. No, these are two separate hates, right? One, you have a Gen Zer who you don't like, who's not running from the critique. He's leaning into it. So you're already playing the heel as a black man. So you're playing the heel as a black male
Brilliant point.
like Gen Z quarterback. Not only that, you're playing the heel while making millions of dollars as a black man. You're playing the heel while making millions of dollars as a black man who is giving off the impression that he does not care what you think. So now when you think about Shedeur, your first interaction with Shedeur's brand is not one of, hey, who is this kid? No, it's, hey, this guy is holding up an iced out Rolex,
Yeah.
even though, and think about this. traditionally, when you show a black kid with an iced out Rolex, it gives off the impression of financial mismanagement, even though they have no idea what his finances are. So, like they're saying, hey, he's a college quarterback, iced out Rollie.
I get that, but like his
Hold on,
daddy is Deion
no, hold on,
Sanders.
no. What
To
I'm
me,
trying to do,
those arguments from those people are
no,
illogical. Go ahead.
I'm trying to, what I'm
I'm
trying
not
to,
arguing with you. I'm not
I know,
arguing
right?
with
No,
you. Go
of
ahead.
course. I'm just trying to walk because what we got to do, bro, is these are all of the small themes before we get to the major one. So what I'm saying is like now we have this. This is all before getting that. This is first name hate. Now let's get to the last name hate. You have a black man who you have tried to buck break for decades in everything that he has done. And let me tell you, the only time you can be pissed off when you're trying to buck break a black man is when he succeeds. And you know what Deion Sanders has done? He played two sports. You know what he did? He taught. You know what he did? Went to Jackson State and made it a thing. You know what he did? Went to Colorado, which was dead on arrival, and brought more than $100 million of economic value and worth back to Boulder, Colorado. All the while, they are openly hating on the fact that he's calling his shot and making the shot. And so now you have this snowball effect of
This man
okay,
Dion got away with words, boy.
man,
The
man.
TED
So
Talk Dion. Go ahead, get in your bag.
so
Get in your bag.
so now you have this thing where you have first name snowballing into second name snowballing, and now you have a situation where as we approach the draft, those who understand that by the trackable metrics of success for a college quarterback are in black and white, all of the hate is in the gray. And so now we have a situation where Shedeur does not go top 10. And all of those who say, oh, well, he was really a projected, late first round, second round. Okay, cool. But what I said and what I'm happy about is this was happening in real time. And so now you have all of these people after day one, they cemented their argument in that Shedeur Sanders was a late first, second round draft talent. But then we get to the second round. And now you're starting to see in real time all of these arguments, the merit is being stripped away. Because now you see teams that need quarterbacks not take quarterbacks. Now you see the teams that do select quarterbacks that could hold a flame to Shedeur. And then the rounds keep going. And you land
And they keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going, and they keep panning the camera and putting the camera on them and talking about them every chance they can. That's why I said, like I said, I really believe that they purposely tried to buck break that man live in front of the world and let him and his whole family and his daddy know you and your boys are still boys. And if we want to take $60 million out of his pocket, we will. Because we can. And we don't give a fuck what you got to say about it. And if you got a problem with it, deal with it.
And here's the thing. A loose equivalent for anybody out there who doesn't really follow football. This is a loose equivalent, not exactly, but just to kind of paint the picture. This is the equivalent of everyone knowing in the draft that the top two talents, okay, are Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. And instead of Ja going second, instead of Ja going third, Ja sat to day 3 and went to a team that already has 4 point guards. And so what I like I'm not surprised because I'm never surprised by the black trauma and experience and things that we have to overcome to stay focused and be successful and pay it forward.
Not
But
even
I
that. Not even that. Just to be able to play the game.
to play
Like
and
like
listen,
like you
yeah,
know, like you and a
yep,
lot of people close to me know about the situation that I dealt with at a former place that I was working at. And I felt like it was a situation, and I'm not saying that it was done intentionally or with malice, but if you are in an industry where that's just the way things work, you either are going to be a that's just the way things worker, or
yep,
you're going to innovate.
yep,
And rather than me, and honestly, this has just been my journey the last 7 years, rather than me continue to be a worker that is just going to continue to be a cog in the clock, doing and perpetuating the same systems that I've seen myself be a victim of, not even just as a black man, just as a creative person, because as a creative person, everyone is doing everything they can to take from us. Right? Even when you look at Ryan Coogler, and I know you're going to go see Sinners, and we'll talk about it in depth on the next pod, but it's been this whole conversation surrounding Ryan Coogler and him getting the rights back to his movie after 25 years. And my
and what
thing
he
is, well,
and
hold on
what
real
he
quick.
said.
Hold
Oh,
on, hold on, wait, real
yeah,
quick. And then,
go,
real
go.
quick, and then you can
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
now, I will say this. I own a sports media company, right? So I have a YouTube channel, and we got social media, stuff like that, right? So the language in perpetuity when it comes to content that it will exist on a social media platform is understandable. Obviously, because you want to be able to keep the videos on the YouTube channel because you don't want to delete them, right? But
yep.
when we talking about films and things that are being distributed across multiple planes, multiple mediums, they make you sign away your rights in perpetuity on regardless of and they'll even put on any planet in a contract, right? So why is it that if I create the film, I produce the film, and you are just essentially distributing and co-producing the film with me, right? Why is it that you should be able to keep all my rights in perpetuity?
And that's
Right?
because
So, and I will say this, even the difference between my contracts and other contracts that you will see in the industry. The reason why all the podcasters that I've ever worked with love working with us at H&B Media, because in our agreements, we literally state that the only thing that we own is the content that you distribute on our platform. Just that piece of content. If you came up with the show name and that's your show name and your brand name, you still own the rights to all your IP and your trademark. We just own the rights to continue to distribute that thing on our platforms. So even the creators that work with us, when they leave us, they don't leave without their name, like a Prince situation or that type of
yep,
thing. And I did that on purpose because I don't need to own your name. I don't need
yeah,
to own what you make. I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to rape you or take from you. And this industry as a whole, because football is entertainment, whether we like it or not.
yep,
The entertainment industry at a whole, sports is the highest level of what that is, right?
yep,
Which is why you see more athletic billionaires than you see billionaires that are actors, right?
yep,
So at its highest form, the football players and the baseball players and the NBA players are the highest paid entertainers in the world, right? So when you get into these situations where you have to choose whether to continue to be a part of the cog or try to innovate, you're going to always end up in a situation where they're going to use economic warfare to try to hurt you. Even if that means misrepresenting things, trying to own your rights, trying to own your royalties, trying to take your publishing. So whether it's Shedeur Sanders or Ryan Coogler and Sinners or Deion Sanders, all of this shit boils down to economics and us not being in a position where we are strong enough economically as a base to be able to walk away from that base and go do our own thing. But it's set up in that way on purpose. And so you can speak about what Ryan Coogler said, but to me, all of this is like a microcosm of the same thing. And even the next topic we're gonna talk about with Shannon,
yep,
I feel like all of it like is parallel. It might not be the exact same thing, but all these things to me, watching all this stuff unfold in real time, it feels parallel. Like now you can see the purposeful pieces of the clock aiming to harm us, Whereas
Yep.
before it was always conjecture and conspiracy. Now, as you said before, we're watching it in real time. So I'm done speaking on that. You can go ahead.
No. I just wanted to touch on, and next time, you know what I'm saying. Like, let me in for a sentence because it now it's out. It's after. You feel me? I'm like, goddamn. But no, I was just gonna say that um, Ryan responded. He said, and his short response was, people are reacting as if my deal is unique for the space, and it's not. It's not. It's unique for a black person. And that's the thing, you know? And like that's it. This is only news because people did not expect a black man to go in and ask for what he asked for. Because you know what I love about press releases and about news stories? As a writer, I listen to the whole thing. And you want me to tell you what I love about what everybody said, but didn't pay attention? What they said about this, but they kept glossing over. They said Ryan pitched this script and wanted the rights and set it to studios for the last 2 to 3 years. So here's the funny thing. Y'all knew what he wanted. Y'all said no. What was this? 2 years ago, a studio said yes. Y'all mad because it's successful. He called his shot. Y'all didn't want to be. Can I, Thomas? Let me. You just said it, but can I
No,
just
go
lift
ahead.
up?
No,
Can I?
no,
Can I?
no.
No.
Look,
It's something.
that's
no,
why
it's
when you
something-
said, let me get a sentence in,
No.
no, listen. When we have these long intellectual debates, the reason why I just shut up when you talk is because I know that you gonna, like, we will always circle back to
Dog.
and bring it back. So
Dog,
go
I'm
ahead.
about to-
I'm
I'm about to
listening.
lift-
Like, I'm genuinely listening.
I'm lifting up what you just said. He pitched the script. You feel me? To everybody. Y'all just mad because the dope he's selling, y'all not getting a cut off of. When he asked y'all, did y'all want in? We've all been there. We've all pitched in and bought a pizza, and you didn't want to put in. But now you mad because we got the pizza, we broke it down, we celebrating, we happy, we're closer, and you over there eating your burger. And now you talking to other people about the scenario, and you're leaving out and not lifting up the fact that Ryan wanted to eat with you. He kept it about business. And what I love about people that talk about business moves is he ain't got no emotion. He went out there and shot the shot and hit the shot. And now he hits you with the Jordan shrug because y'all tripping. Y'all didn't want to pass him the ball. And what I love about this, bro, is the man is consistent. Some of the best Rotten Tomatoes. Now Rotten Tomatoes don't matter. Now Rotten Tomatoes don't matter. When every other movie that drops Rotten Tomatoes, the early reviews, the early Rotten Tomatoes percentage is the barometer for what is good art. From TV shows to movies, even certain episodes of TV shows. But when that 100% Rotten Tomatoes dropped for Sinners, ooh, y'all got uncomfortable. Some people got uncomfortable in the industry. And that's what this is about. This is only the Ryan Coogler Sinners controversy around him getting the rights back is only an issue because it's successful. If this had a 30% Rotten Tomato score, it would have been laughed and scoffed at. And that's what I love about it. That's why when we talk about bug breaking and just trying to survive and beat the odds, the only time they're uncomfortable is when you're whipped and you don't fold.
Yeah,
when
that's.
you
I
look
mean,
at
hey, what's your name, boy? What do you say,
man,
Kunta
man,
Kinte? No, your
man,
name is Toby.
and
What's
when
your
you
name, boy? Shedeur Sanders. No, your name is Toby.
and listen,
That's
when you